any account. You don't have to download any apps. You just have to go to kahoot.it and enter the game pin, which is provided in the chat box. That's 3724504. That's all you have to do. And wait for me to start the quiz, which I'll just begin shortly after I've told you a few things. So welcome to all of you. I'm really happy that you're here, and we have an amazing set of questions today. Today happens to be National Productivity Day, and I think it's the best way to be productive. Play a quiz, learn some facts, get some knowledge, and also in a fun way so that you enjoy. And what can be the best part about it when you walk away with a book, a bestseller book? So I think that's just the cherry on the cake. So before I tell you the rules and regulations, I'll just tell you which book you will win. The three winners for today's quiz. You get to walk away with Curfewed Night, which is written by Basharat Peer. And the author is, he was born in Kashmir in 1977. And he was a teenager when the whole separatist movement began in Srinagar, in Kashmir, in 1989. He was then sent to a boarding school so that he was kept away from all the trouble. The game pin, Sumit, is 3724504. It's given in the chat box to you. You can put that into Kahoot and enter your name and email address, and we'll begin shortly. So I was telling you about the book, and after he went to the boarding school, he finished his college and became a journalist. He used to live in Delhi. In around 2003, he left his job and moved back to his hometown to search for some amazing stories. And that's how this book came into being. So the book Curfewed Night, in this book, he draws a harrowing portrait of Kashmir and its people, some really dark experiences. It's a stunning book and an unforgettable portrait of Kashmir and its people. And three of you will win this book today. So I wish you all the very best. And I hope that you enjoy the quiz, and three of you, you love the book. If you do, please write to us. We love to have your feedback. And sometimes we also feature it on our social media when we get amazing emails from you regarding the books that you liked or experiences that you have, or just about Game of Facts. So whatever it is, feedback, your experiences, whatever you want to share, just write to us at connect@indiafactquiz.com, and we'll be happy to read it. Okay, so I won't take much of your time. We'll just begin with the quiz. As you all know, the first few questions are poll questions. These are not, there are no scores given for these questions. So it's just to get to know our audiences, and you get to know how you can use Kahoot, how you can answer on Kahoot. There are a few types of questions. There are there's myth or fact, and there's multiple choice, there's puzzle questions. When we reach to the puzzle questions, I'll tell you how to answer it, but it's just very easy, very simple. So let's just begin with the quiz. Let's see what our poll questions for today are. Okay, before I begin, I'd just like to tell you, just be very quick while you answer so that you get maximum points for it and you are on the scoreboard. Welcome to all of you, Anuj, Shweta, Gaurav, Mamta, Joseph, Vinod, Aman, Kishore, Nancy, Gargi, Nilab, Ayush, Abhinandan, Sheetal. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let us begin with our first poll question for today. This is Game of Facts, week 2 of the new year. And here we have our first poll question. If you are asked to be a part of a film, which role would you choose? Would it be a nerdy best friend, or the ambitious boss, or the figuring out main character? Everybody wants to be the main character. Or will it be the aloof love interest? What would you want to be out of these few options? And if there's something else, then you can tell us in the chat box. Let's see what your interesting options, choices are. Okay, so 13 of you would love to be a nerdy best friend. Okay, 6 of you, the ambitious boss. We have quite a lot of ambitious people here. Then we have the 10 of you would want to be the figuring it out main character. And 8 of you would want to be the aloof love interest. That's interesting. Let's move on to our next poll question. What's the strangest thing you did while attending a meeting or class online? Is it you ate or cooked a meal or watched a movie show or wore funny clothing, or is it something else but your lips are sealed? Okay. 17 of you ate a meal or cooked a meal. In fact, I would like to tell you, I've done all of this. Uh, and 14 of you said you've watched a movie or a show. 3 of you wore funny clothing. That's me always. It's just for Game of Facts I get ready. 9 of you said it's something else, but your lips are sealed. You don't want to tell us, which is perfectly okay. Let's move on to our next question. But before that, okay. Okay, we have a few responses in the chat box. Really nice. Thank you. Let's move on to our next question, which is a word cloud. And we would like to know, what is your biggest productivity hack? What is it that you feel you like to do and be most productive at? Okay, some really amazing responses here. Um, Smart work, sleep, listening to music, the great hack. Okay. What is this? Listening songs, think about goals, coffee, procrastination. Wow, okay. Music, meditation, morning, listening podcasts, making timetable, food, um, free fire. Okay. Quizzing, studying, wow, amazing. Reading, yes, reading is really nice, which is all IFQ is all about. Let's move on to our first question for today. These were our poll questions. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's see what our first question for today's quiz is. And this is myths or facts. You have to tell whether this statement is a myth or a fact. And here's our first question. Chennai recorded a spike in road accidents from 2018 to 2019. Is this a fact or is this a myth? We're talking about Chennai here, that it recorded a spike in road accidents from 2018 to 2019. Okay, 14 of you were totally right. This is a myth, and this is 2019 data, which happens to be the latest data available. So it was seen that Chennai, which actually ranked first in terms of accidents in the year 2019, it was at the topmost position. But there was an increase in the rate of accidents from the previous year, which is 2018, and this decrease was about 9.4%. So Chennai, it recorded a reduction in accidents, and this was around 9.4% of reductions from the previous year. So we have our scoreboard here, and Yukta with butterflies is on top of the leaderboard. Then we have Madan, Rohit, Druhi, and Padmaja. Let's move on to our next question. Another myth or fact for double points. Delhi recorded a reduction in road accidents from 2018 to 2019. Is this a myth or is this a fact? We spoke about Chennai in the previous question. Now we're talking about Delhi, and we're saying that it recorded a reduction in road accidents from 2018 to 2019. Is this a myth or a fact? You get double points for this. Wow. 27 of you get double points for this. And this is a fact. So after Chennai, Delhi is at the second place in number of accidents in the year 2019, but it also recorded a reduction of 14% accidents from the year 2018. So there's a reduction, but it still happens to be at the second position when it comes to the road accident chart. So with this, our myth or fact segment is over for today. And we have a scoreboard in front of you. Madan, has taken the lead. Then we have Rohit, Druhi, Padmaja, and Abhishek has just come on to the scoreboard. There was a slight shift there. Let's hope Yukta gets back. And now we have our next segment, which is called the game of numbers. So you have to answer numbers here. And this question for double points: for every 1,000 males, number of females in rural areas in Bihar. Is it 882, 982, 911, or 1,111? Please note, we're talking about rural areas of Bihar. So for every 1,000 males, how many number of females are there? Just 5 of you got this correct. I think some bias testing happened here. 10 of you went with 882. 27 of you went with 911, which is incorrect. I mean, maximum of you went with that number, and 16 of you said 982. But the actual sex ratio is 1111, which is for every 1,000 males, there are 1,111 females in rural areas in Bihar. Now, if we talk about the urban areas, this is actually lesser. The sex ratio is lesser, which is at 982 per 1,000 males. So there are 982 females for every 1,000 males in urban areas of Bihar. So this is, I think, a really stark statement. That's a data that's just come into in front of us, where we see the sex ratio is more in rural areas and as compared to the urban areas. So let's move on to our next segment. But before that, we have, wow, total shift on the scoreboard. We have Tanmay on top of the scoreboard. Then we have Madan, Rohit, Vinod, and Druhi. And with this, Nicey is the highest climber. So our next segment is the state of affairs. And our question for the segment is here. This state or UT saw the highest decrease for out-of-pocket expenditure per delivery in a public health facility. Your options are Arunachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, Delhi, and Kerala. We're saying that this state, this particular state or UT, it saw the highest decrease for out-of-pocket expenditure per delivery in a public health facility. Okay, 11 of you went with Delhi and you're correct. The national average for out-of-pocket expenditure per delivery in a public health facility it's actually reduced and it's reduced by 8.8% from rupees 3,197, which was in 2015-16, to rupees 2,916 in the year 2019-21. And the decrease was highest in Delhi, which was at 70%. So there was a 70% drop from rupees 8,518 to 2,548. That's quite some reduction in out-of-pocket expenditure per delivery in a public health facility. So here we have a scoreboard after this question. Tanmay is still on the top of the scoreboard. Then we have Vinod, Madan. Neelap has just entered the scoreboard, and we have Rohit at the 5th position. Let's see our next question. So it was World Pulses Day on 10th of February, and we have a few questions for that as well. So let's just see. This state or UT was the largest producer of lentils, which is Masoor, and your options are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. Ten more seconds to go. Okay, 23 of you got this correct. There's another 23 that went for Madhya Pradesh. I'm not talking about you. So Uttar Pradesh is the correct answer. And this is as of 2019-2020. Uttar Pradesh produced around 41% of the total production. of lentils. Then we have Madhya Pradesh at 26%, West Bengal at 13%, and Bihar at 8%. So Madhya Pradesh was actually at the second position, and Uttar Pradesh was the largest producer of lentils. Moving on to the scoreboard, Vinod has an answer streak of 3 correct answers in a row. And then we have Rohit, Druhi, Anna, and Abhishek. 2 more names just popped on the scoreboard for today's quiz. Let's see our next question. Pulses are low in fat content and contain 0 dash. Is this potassium, iron, cholesterol, or B vitamins? Pulses are low in fat content and contain 0, which of these options? Potassium, cholesterol, iron, or B vitamins? Wow, 36. The majority knew this answer, which is good because I think it's a I think more known fact. So pulses are low in fat content and they contain 0 cholesterol. In fact, the glycemic index, which is an indicator of the effect on blood sugar, this is also very low in pulses. And pulses are a significant source of dietary fiber, and pulses are also gluten free. So, in fact, pulses help reduce cholesterol levels as well, and that's because they have 0 cholesterol. So, moving on to our scoreboard. Somebody just went off the scoreboard. Okay, Vinod, Rohit, Anna, Abhishek, and Tanmay. Tanmay is back on the scoreboard. Let's see our next question for double points. So be quick. Protein sourced from pulses costs dash as much as protein from milk. Is this twice, 1/3, 1/5, or half? Protein sourced from pulses costs twice or 1/3 or 1/5 or half as much as protein from milk. 20 of you got this correct. It's 1/5. In fact, the protein which is sourced from grain legumes, which are beans, pulses, oil seeds, they all cost they all cost as much as 1/5 of as much as protein from milk. These are protein rich. These foods are protein rich and affordable. And in addition, the amino acids balance the pulse protein complements that and it also complements that of cereal when it's eaten together, so which in general which greatly improves the protein quality of the food that is taken in. So our scoreboard is wow. Okay, this is amazing. Some really new names on the scoreboard: Abhishek, Krishij, Druhi, Aman, and Vinod. uh, Let's move on to our next question. And this is our last segment for today, which is the IFQ stack. We have 3 puzzle questions for you for today, some double points as well. Let's see if you get these correct today. This one for double points. Rank from high to low on the basis of India's pulses export to the following countries. Your options are USA, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and China. So you have to place them in the correct order and click on submit at the end. So whatever you think, whichever country the export was maximum to, that country will first come, and so on and so forth. And please press the submit button. Rank from high to low on the basis of India's pulses export to these countries. Last 5 seconds to go. Come on, hurry up. Click on that submit button. Okay. So here we have just 2% of you. Okay, wow, but somebody got it correct. So the correct order is Nepal, USA, China, and Sri Lanka. And exports from India of pulses in the year 2020-2021 were as follows. To Nepal, 34,993 metric tons. USA, 34,843. So there's just slight difference there. China 34,538 metric tons. Sri Lanka 13,769 metric tons. So just I think just one of you got this correct, one or two maybe. Let's see who that is. Okay, maybe somewhere down on the scoreboard. But okay, the scoreboard looks the same. So let's just go to our next question. Another puzzle question for you. Rank these states from high to low on the basis of their cleanliness scores. Your options are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. So whichever state you feel is the most is the cleanest will come on the first position, then the second, third, and fourth, and click on the submit button as soon as you put them in the correct order. Last 10 seconds for you to answer the question. Cleanliness scores. Okay, so just 4%, which is better than the previous one. The correct order is Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. So Maharashtra's cleanliness score was around 2845. Then we have UP at 1970, Karnataka at 1720, and Tamil Nadu at 1325. Let's go to our scoreboard, which I'm thinking will not have much. Oh, wow. Okay. So I think Aman got this one correct. And just the shift in the scoreboard with the same names. Let's move on to our last puzzle question for today, last question for today. And then we'll have our winners who will get to walk out with Curfewed Night. Double points for this one. So please answer it correctly. Rank these states and UTs from high to low on the basis of sex ratio, which is females per 1,000 males. Your options are Kerala, Maharashtra, Mizoram, Lakshadweep. Just remember to um, keep your biases aside and put them in the correct order. You have to rank these states or UTs from high to low on the basis of sex ratio, which is females per 1,000 males. Last 10 seconds. Come on, hurry up and answer. Okay, so I see the first question, just 2% of you got this correct. The second question, 4%, and now 5%. You're just gradually increasing, which is nice. So the correct order is Lakshadweep, Kerala, Mizoram, and Maharashtra. Uh, the sex ratio in Lakshadweep is 1187. Kerala sex ratio is 1121, which is 1,121 females per 1,000 males. Then we have Mizoram, which has a sex ratio of 1,018 per 1,000 males. Then we have Maharashtra, which has the lowest of all of these at 966 females per 1,000 males. So these were our 10 questions for today. And now we'll just have a look at the winners of today's quiz. On the third position today for Game of Facts Week 2, we have Prishij. Then we have Aman Kumar at the second position. And our winner for today's quiz is Abhishek, Kumar. Congratulations to all of you. The runners-up are Dhruhi and Vinod. I hope that you enjoyed the quiz. And if you want, to claim your prize, please write to us. Please fill the Google form, which is provided to you in the chat box. And if you have any queries, any feedback, or any updates that you want to know about your books, you can write to us at connect@indiafactquiz.com.